Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining us. This is like I'm among the first sessions today, so I hope I'll be able to make it fun this morning. So for those who don't know me, I'm Ildes. I'm with the web team from the marketing department. And today I'll be doing a very quick showcase. And also I'll be sharing some guidance and tips about WordPress in general and about the tools that we've been adding in the recent couple of years or so. So I hope you have some website content admins here. That would be great. But even if you are not WordPress admin, I think you still be presenting some nice stuff for you and for everybody. So if you don't mind, I'll be switching to PowerPoint. So I hope you're seeing my slides.
Yes, we are.
Okay. This is the AC website showcasing tips. Basically, as I said before, this is going to be a twofold presentation. I'll be start talking about our recent work, and then I'll be moving on to some guidance and tips. So let's get started. Again, my name is Ildes, and I'm with the marketing web team. I'm web developer. I hope I have some colleagues with me right now. I see Jamie. Hopefully, we're gonna have some other web developers with me this morning. And those are our topics. So first, we'll be talking about what the web team have been doing recently. And after that, we'll move to some tips and instructions. So let's get started. Our showcase. So what have we been doing? I don't know if some of you have been working with our WordPress for a long time, but between 2018 and 2019, even 2017, we did kind of a huge website project where we rebuilt lots of things, lots of core functionality. Like we rebuilt our themes, we created new templates, new forms. We did a significant technology upgrade. We also did some security enhancements. So it was a huge source code refactoring. We rebuilt lots of things. And more recently, we also took on some pretty big projects like the new landing template, the new social media feed widgets. We also did an accessibility project. We have a new slider tool. And more recently, we created the new version of the Content Hub website. And right now, we have the new events project that is ongoing. So why I'm mentioning all those boring projects? Well, they brought a lot of change. For example, what you see now is the set of thumbnails of our regular templates. So, like I said, I don't know if any of you have been dealing with WordPress since a long time ago, but we used to have lots of templates before those. And due to these past projects, we were able to replace them with just a few ones. So now we have less templates and more standards. Another example is the landing 2019. We didn't have anything like this 3 years ago. So it's a single landing template that ships multiple features. And it's our first page builder experience. And it ships all of our landing standards in a single template. So before the landing 2019, what we had was we used to create landing pages using regular templates, adding some stuff to customize, or we just created like custom built pages. But now what we have is one single landing template that ships all of our design standards for landing pages. And as a page builder, the user can build the page wherever they like, because you can select the sections that you want to add to the page, and you can even order them. And it's now being used on more than 200 landing pages. So it's quite remarkable. Like when we were developing this template, I thought you'd be using it on like maybe 40 pages, a few home pages, but it's more than 200 now. And in the future, it's going to be very easy to replace our standards because we'll be working on a single template and all those 200 pages will be modified accordingly. Another example is the enhancements that we did on security. Those past projects also resulted in a lot of an improved safety. So we add HTTPS to the website. We did a significant upgrade on our WordPress and all technologies that run behind our website. We improved performance, and we also made the site ready for general privacy implementations. For example, we are now completely ready for the new cookie standards. I'm sure that you have noticed all those cookie pop-ups everywhere on the web, and also you have these on the college website. Now let's move on to a more fun project, the Content Hub. The Content Hub is one of the freshest websites on our network. And the reason behind this website is to provide fun content about student life. Also, the Content Hub provides marketing content and raises user engagement. The thing about this project, this is actually a second version of the Content Hub website. We had a simpler Content Hub website before this one, but we were asked to do a major improvement here. So it's a whole new inspiration. It's really made to look and feel nice. And the web and design teams from marketing were tasked to create something that feels really engaging and fun. So this project is a totally different beast because it provides a contrast with the projects that I was talking about before. Most of those past projects were about normalization, simplification, while this project represents our efforts in trying to go beyond our standards. It's a website made from scratch with a customized effort on the content. And we also create how-to videos, yes, training videos. This project was our first opportunity to create videos. So during this project, we were asked to also go beyond in the way we provide guidance. So instead of the usual PDF help, we developed those videos, those training videos for the Content Hub writers. So a couple of years ago would be kind of a bit of a challenge for us to create videos, but we've been blessed with a new team member, Chris, and he really rocks at making videos. And this is the result of his work. And I'll talk more about this later, okay? So the Content Hub is kind of ongoing, so new features will be implemented. So if you haven't checked it out before, you can go to /Content Hub and take a look. Another exciting project is the events project. This year, we decided to start a kind of events 2.0 project. And why? Because we really need to simplify it. So this is our current situation. We have events everywhere. For example, this is our homepage, the events on the homepage. We also have events on regular pages, events on Brightspace, events on MyAC, and you also have a bunch of widgets to deal with events, okay? So we really need to streamline this. And our goals is to allow users to find out events more easily. And also, of course, avoiding redundancy and duplication. And create new standards for the design of the events, because now we don't have these standards. So let's talk about the brand new events website. So now we have a single homepage for events, for all events, a single location for submitting events, and it also submits to Brightspace, because our intention here is to create one place where we'll be able to submit events to any other events base that we have. So the idea here is kind of, this project speaks volumes on our effort to provide process improvements. So we are bringing a lot of the AC way philosophy to this. So efficiency, reduction of duplication, and all these sort of things. So you can go and take a look. If you haven't yet, go to /college events and you see the form to submit new events, and also the brand new design for the events list. And you can also add events to your page through our new single events widget. So we used to have lots of widgets and now have only one. So this widget even allows you to select the kind of events that you want to display on your page. So it's fully customizable. So to sum up, you have now one single event site, one single event form, one single events list design, one single events widget, and more training videos. Yes, we also develop videos during this project. So you don't have to give us a call to know how to work. We use the widget. So go to /college events and you see the video about how to submit a new event and how to add events to your own website. Now let's talk a little bit about templates and sliders. As I mentioned before, we created the new regular templates, the new landing 2019 template, and now we also have a new slider tool, meta slider. And we are aware that many have questions about them, particularly meta slider and the landing 2019. So how about a very, very quick review? So the landing 2019 is meant to be a page builder. So that's why it's technically easy, but sometimes it can get overwhelming. So as I said before, it was made to ship all of our AC design standards, but in a way that lets you build the page yourself. And because of that, it ships a lot of functionality. And I know it gets scary sometimes. It's a lot of fields, a lot of forms to fill. And the reason is that you build page by filling forms. So in 2 seconds, you turn this into that. So the secret to understand the launch in 2019 is to go over the 4 main areas of the template. We have 4 basic parts: the top fields with some core functionality, like the slider. Below that, we have the main content, which is the regular WordPress content field. You have the regular fields below the main content. And on the right-hand sidebar, you have the controls to sort the page sections. So the main tip here for you is to just go and play around with those fields, because you can't break your website, you can't break your page. Okay, you can fill those fields and it'll be fine. And also, this template is very powerful, so you can create lots of variations. And you can also take a look at other home pages to have an idea of what you can do. But I'm not going over in detail about this right now. First, because I'm not allowed to make this presentation overly boring. Okay, this is my first Kaleidoscope presentation. My bosses are watching, and I'm totally not showing how to do it live because we don't have time for that. And we now have web tutorials. Okay, so you don't need to take notes about anything I'm showing you right now. We've created a lot of tutorials, a bunch of them, and I'll talk more about them later. So stay tuned, don't run away yet. Now about the sliders, the only thing you need to know this morning is that you have 3 slider tools: template slider, slider revolution, and meta slider. We actually have another one, but I'll talk about this later. About the slider revolution, my tip is to please stay away from it, okay? Slider revolution is very powerful, but also very complex. It's only suitable for a few pages, and it's usually the web team that handles slider revolution, unless you are advised to do so. The template slider is the best one that we have. It's very easy to use, but it's available only on the landing template and on the program pages. It's the 2-column slider that we have. You just need to fill the form and it's fine. The meta slider, though, is a little bit more complicated because it's the new kid on the block. So it was introduced in 2019, and it's a replacement to Slider Pro. So we still have Slider Pro running on many pages, but we are trying to get rid of it because it's old and it's not supported anymore by the original developers. So if you have a Slider Pro running on your website, leave it. If you want to update your sliders, please try to create a new one using Meta Slider. Meta Slider, to use Meta Slider, just go to WordPress admin, Meta Slider, and you can go from there. Don't worry, we have a tutorial for that. Widgets. People have many questions about widgets because there is this dynamic between widgets and sidebars. And the problem with sidebars is that not all sidebars are actual sidebars. For example, you have the slider sidebar, and it's not actually a sidebar, it's a place to put sliders. So it's a little bit complicated for some, but we also have a tutorial for that. But what I'm going to mention now is our most used widgets. In the recent couple of years, we added new widgets, and we also removed a bunch of old widgets. So this is our top 10 list of the most used widgets. Some of them are just standards like links, image gallery. Others, like the form and meta slide, are third party. And you also have our own widgets developed by the web team, like the Marketo, buttons, events, and social media. And you also have whistles. What's whistles? Many have questions about whistles. Well, whistles is our collapsible section generator. Okay, so we have this collapsible on many pages, and they're all done via whistles. And many don't know that whistles is a very famous plugin. It's very reliable, and we've been using it for many years. And people have questions about it. It's not very straightforward to use, but it's very flexible too. And some people have asked me why it's called whistles. And the answer is, I don't know. Nobody knows, okay? The developer decided to call it whistles, and we just keep the same name. So we have 3 steps to create a collapsible. First, you go to appearance to whistle groups, and you create a whistle group, which is a collapsible. Then you go to appearance to whistles and create a whistle, which is the tab of the collapsible. And then you use a widget to publish it. So the point about whistles is that it's very flexible. So for example, you can reuse the same tab on different collapsibles. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And don't worry, we also have a tutorial for that. Now let's talk about the tutorials. We have right now the first 4 tutorials done. Okay, of course, be gentle with us because they're new. They're still subject to review and subject to improvement. So the first one is how to start up a new website. So if you want to create a new website or recreate your website, you will start a project and then you open a request to us, and you will make available a new empty website, a new shell site. And that's the tutorial that we'll be reading, how to start up a new website, how to go from there. We also have a widgets and sidebars tutorial. It explains everything about the dynamic between widgets and sidebars, and also whistles. Sliders, it also mentions meta slider, and of course the new Landing 2019 template. We will be adding new tutorials soon. For example, I want to add a tutorial about tables because you have a new table tool that is really nice, and we'll be improving these tutorials. We'll probably be making videos out of them. So if you want to check them out later on, you can go to /webservshelp. So this is not a promise of tutorials, they're done, they're there, okay? So you can go there and check them out. Since you have some extra time, I'd like to talk about another very important topic, accessibility. Why I'm talking about accessibility today? Everybody knows that accessibility is fundamental, and it's very important, and it's also the law. And the thing is, accessibility is not a web team responsibility. The responsibility is usually split between webmasters and writers in every organization. And why? First, because our website is huge. So according to Site Improve, we have more than 10,000 active URLs. Many of them are old, many of them are duplications, but our website is huge. And there are accessibility issues that can't be scanned by an algorithm. So we have a very good report that we get from Site Improve. It scans our website and gives us lots of accessibility issues that the web team fix. But some issues can't be scanned at all. And those issues have to be taken in mind when we create a new page. So I'd like to talk very quickly about 4 topics and bring you some tips about that. Don't worry, it's going to be short and you don't need to take notes. It's going to be quick. I'm sure that most of you that have been creating pages, writing content, are familiar with these rules. And also, there is a tutorial for that. Yes, I mentioned that we have 4 tutorials, but we actually have 5. I'll be making available the accessibility tutorial shortly after the presentation. So next time, before you create a new page, please, if you have time, take a look at the accessibility tutorial. So headings. Headings are not just bolded sentences. And we have a lot of these on our website, a lot. Usually people think that if I have a section on my page, I will add a paragraph, and above the paragraph, I add a sentence and make it bold. But we actually have to use proper blockings, proper headings. So to do that, you go to Format, Blocks, and choose a heading. The only heading that we don't advise to use is heading 1, because usually the heading 1 is the title of the page. Okay. So headings are not just bolded sentences. We have to use the proper blocks, and they also have to follow a hierarchy. So heading 2 is the top below heading 1. And if you have subsections, heading 3 has to be a subsection of heading 2. And it's very important for people using assistive technology, okay? And this is an issue that we can't fix ourselves. Everyone has to be a little bit responsible to headings when they are creating pages. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about images. I think most of you know that for every image, or almost every image, we need an alternative text. So this is a huge effort, because if you have 10,000 pages, you have many more images than that. It's impossible, absolutely impossible for the web team to go over all the images and set a specific text for them. So every time you add an image to a page, this screen pops up. You choose the image, and on the sidebar, there is an alt text field. This is the field that has to be filled. There are other fields like title and description. They're useless. The only one is alternative text. So every non-decorative image has to have an alternative text. Decorative images don't need alternative text. So if an image is just to decorate a page, you don't need to add an alternative text. So keep it short. And if the image has text, you just use the text. You don't need to describe everything on the image. So we have this example here. For this image, there is a text, and the text is the only important thing, the text that we have on the green board. So the alternative text for this image is about social distancing. You don't have to describe the bridge or the bright sky. Just keep it short. And let's suppose you are creating a page about Queen Elizabeth and you decide to add this crown. You don't have to add alternative text for this crown because this is just a decoration. So every alternative text that you add to an image is the user using assistive technology will hear them out loud. So if you add two main alternative text to images that are just decoration, you will create noise. So you have to keep that in mind. Also links, there is a lot of semantics about links, okay? So the most famous bad link is click here. I think everyone knows about this. Click here is the worst possible link ever created. And the reason is because it breaks two fundamental rules. A link has to be meaningful in itself and must not imply computer input actions. And that's what click here does. Click here out of context doesn't mean anything. And it's about clicking. So I have a friend that once broke his finger and he actually couldn't click, okay? And you don't click on your iPhone, for example. So that's it. Those are the rules. Other than that, you just have to make them short. And also, we need to avoid prefixing links with constructions like how to find out more, read more, because assistive technology usually provides a functionality to sort links alphabetically for the user. So those constructions just get in the way. So those are some examples. Click here, find out more, how to pay, very bad. Okay, instead of how to pay, payment information. That's the idea. Read more about recruitment. No, let's go with recruitment instructions. We also have those links on paragraphs, and we usually attempt to link the entire sentence, and that's not good. If the link is to the form 7, so just form 7 is the link, okay? So again, all those issues are about semantics. There is no algorithm to scan those issues. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, article titles. This is the homepage of the HR website, and you see that there are lots of links there and daily news articles. And the users using assistive technology can figure this out because first, there is a proper heading right there, what's new. It's not just a bolded sentence. And the links are added to a proper bullet list. So this is great. This is a very accessible work. Good job. And to conclude, sliders. About the template slider, you don't need to worry about that. It's just a form. You fill the form and it's okay. Meta slider is a little bit more complicated because you have to take in mind that the slide backgrounds might need alternative text. Again, if they're just decoration, it's okay. But if you are creating a slider only with images, and those images have the text on it, you have to add this text to the slide. So for example, the old Slider Pro plugin is very bad at this. So we have many old sliders running on Slider Pro that are not accessible. That's one of the reasons that we moved to Meta Slider. About the slider revolution, just stay away from it, because making it accessible, it's not very easy unless you know what you're doing. So if possible, leave that to the web team. So if you can follow those tips, it will really help us out. I mean, even if you don't have a WordPress credentials at all, you can still raise awareness. You can talk to your leadership. You can talk to your teammates if you have teammates that work on WordPress. And you can even, while accessing the website, let us know about some of those issues if you find them, or let the person that works on that page know about them. I think that's all. So thank you for joining. You're finally free to leave and grab a cup. And if we have some extra time, which I think we can have some time for questions, I think.
I was wondering if you were going to give us an idea where we can quickly locate those tutorials, or maybe even show us on the college website where we can find them.
Yeah, the link is attached to the chat. It's on a single page. This is the link. It's /web services help. As I said before, they're just basic templates. We're gonna improve them. We're gonna be adding videos, and we want to possibly make like a FAQ website, probably with search features, if possible. But so far, this is just our first effort in trying to bring some guidance for the college community.
I have a quick question around the events submission page. So you mentioned that it's one place now to submit events, and those events push to Brightspace. Am I right in thinking that it's pushing those events to the Google Calendar, which is linked to Brightspace? And that's okay, perfect. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Because Brightspace actually use Google Calendar, so we are actually syncing to Google Calendar, and we are now working on trying to sync to MySpace, for example. This is a little bit more complicated because you have to work with ITS and it's Salesforce, it's complicated. And we'll be taking a look at other events base that we have. But our intention is to have only a single form to submit to everyone.
Yeah, it sounds great. We get, I co-chair the Brightspace Stakeholders Committee, and we get a lot of requests from different departments saying, can you advertise our things on the front page of Brightspace? So it's good to know that they can just go via this events page now and it will make its way there.
The same as that events centralized widget where you just showed it at the Content Hub, but we're working on taking that same functionality where you can add any event to any page on the website and using the filtering options to see it. We're trying to do the same thing with content. So people post content and then it can be shared on any page that's relevant. So you could tag it like this is relevant as financial aid. So then the financial aid page could say, show any new articles that are related to financial aid. It's the same idea with events.
Very cool.
So I saw a couple of notes in the chat that the link you posted is incorrect, but it's easily located if you go to My AC and click on resources, and then go to marketing, and you have links to all of the items that Yudis mentioned. So you don't need a direct link.
Yeah, sorry for that. I'm sending now.
No worries. You missed an N,
Yeah.
which is something that I do all the time, or one of the L's in Algonquin College.
And there is also a short URL like /web-service-help, and you go right to the tutorials. There are right now there are 4 tutorials. If you go there right now, you're gonna see just 4. But shortly after the presentation, I'll be adding the 5th one about accessibility.
That's great.
Then I'll also be working on a table tutorial, because you have a new table tool that is excellent.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so
we have Jamie here, so if Jamie wants to add something, Jamie is our web team lead. And he's
great presentation, Yudis. I think that there's a lot of information. WordPress is like so large, and our website is so huge. I think that the best part of this presentation is getting your and the rest of the web team's names out there, so that people could know who to contact whenever they have great ideas for new features, which will rigorously determine what works with our site. But I'm sorry, my puppy's attacking me right now. But
oh, I'm having dog issues today too.
But I'm really excited about the future projects that Yuta showed off, the event widget, the content hub. There's some really cool features on both of these sites that we're excited to start really testing in a larger manner, and seeing how we can implement it for other departments and bring it together. And really, like you just mentioned at the beginning of his presentation, that focus on that AC way, and making things lean and reducing inefficiencies, because the amount of times, like you just touched on it, the amount of places that you have to go to submit just a simple event was outstanding before. So we're really hoping to eliminate those just burdens and make it more accessible to our students. And that's our big focus going forward, is minimizing our design and enhancing features so that our prospects, applicants, and students can utilize the site to their full advantage, and hopefully that helps employees as well.
Definitely. Well, on behalf of Kaleidoscope Committee and participants, I wanted to say thank you very much, Udes and Jeremy, and the rest of the team that I noticed some familiar names, for joining us. The recording of the session will be available in our employee learning catalog, and links will be provided in the resources section of the course shell. And just wanted to wish everybody a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget to submit your kudos to other employees or students or anyone else you would like on our wall of appreciation. And I just posted a link in the chat. So if you could go over there and just say something nice, it would be much appreciated. And hopefully you'll have a chance to participate in some of the sessions we're holding later this morning, and our music trivia to wrap up our conference with the one and only Rob Kershaw this at noon. There he is. So thank you so very much, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for coming.